So let me go ahead and share my screen. And while I do that, this is super important because well, for a few reasons. One is so that you can see how your ads are performing. So I can say, okay, so this first thing here, I got one opt-in, so it cost me 18.91 to get one opt-in, right? And this one down here, I spent $11 and got two opt-ins, so this was 558. So, I can see how my ads are performing because I have the tracking set up. And this is actually, it's 558 per call, which is not normal. That's pretty amazing. But anyway, so that gives me a view of what's going on. And the second reason, and perhaps the even more important reason, is that it feeds that data back into the ad algorithm so that it knows who to show the ads to, because it says, oh, okay, this person booked a call. I'm going to start showing the ad to more people that are similar to this, because this is what you want is a call booked. So this is super important, and I'm going to show you how to set this up, and I'm going to show you in the fastest and easiest way that I can. I'm going to try to see if I can do this in 5 minutes. I mean, I probably won't because I'm explaining along the way, but if I was just doing it myself, I could do this in 5 minutes. So let's get into it. So the first thing you want to do is go over to goals here on the left. You can go to conversions and summary. And if you're watching this a little bit later, then they might have moved stuff around because they're constantly moving stuff around. But this has stayed essentially the same process for years. So chances are it's not going to change that much. Okay, so these are the conversion actions I have. So real quick, there's two different kind of things. I don't know what to call them. The two things that categories that we need to go over. One is the conversion action. So that is what do you want to track? So do you want to track a lead? Do you want to track a purchase? Do you want to track somebody fills a form, somebody books a call, etc.? We can track all of those, and each of those things would be an individual conversion action. And then at the bottom here, we have this custom goals. So what this is a set of conversion actions. So they're basically, if you have multiple conversions within the same funnel and you want to group them together, you'll put them into a goal set. So for example, let's say that your funnel, your sales process is the person clicks the ad, they opt in for a free lead magnet, then they book a call, and then they buy your product, right? So basically you have three different conversions in that process. You have number one is the opt-in for the free lead magnet. Number two is booking the call. And number three is purchasing the product. So you would have a goal set that has three goals in it. So before we can do that, we have to create each individual conversion action. So I'm going to hit create conversion action. And then conversions. Oh, they just added this conversions offline through Zapier, which is pretty cool. I have not tried this yet, but this is, I mean, if you can hook this up, I think that this is going to be significantly more accurate than the regular website conversions that I've been using. So I might make a video in the future showing you how to use the Zapier conversion actions. But for now, I'm just going to go with the regular conversions on a website. Okay, so I already have my web link in there. If you don't have your web link in there, you might have to hit edit. You just put your web link. It really doesn't matter at this point. I just put my base URL. And then I have my Google tag. They just changed this, so I'm fumbling with it a little bit here. So Google tag, I'm going to hit setup. And install manually. Cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this whole thing. I can just click this little icon and it'll copy it. And I have to put this in the code of every page of my website, right? So not necessarily every page, but every page that the person might visit that you want to track. So in this case, go back to the funnel that I was talking about. We have an opt-in page and then like a thank you page, and then a call booked page, and then a a purchase page, and then a thank you page of the purchase. So that's like 5 different pages along the process. So I have to put this tag in all 5 of those pages. So I'm going to go over to my page editor, which I use Kartra, which if you're not familiar with Kartra, it's very similar to ClickFunnels or Go High Level or Lead Pages. Like there's a bunch of different ones here. And this was my favorite, but you know, you can use whatever you want. They're all pretty similar, and I'm going to show you how to do it on Kartra. But if you have another one, you'll figure it out pretty quickly. So let's see. Let's just use this one. I'm going to edit this page. This is an opt-in page. Give it just a second to load. Everything's slower when I'm doing a screen share. Okay, and I will go into settings and tracking code. And I'm going to embed my tracking code in the head. Now notice you can embed it in the head, the body, or the footer. And then there's a separate one here for for Facebook ads rather. We're going to put, for all of these, we're going to put them in the head. Now, I already have a bunch of stuff in there. So just pretend that's not there. I'm not actually going to add this because I already have this set up in a different way. I use Google Tag Manager, which is a little more complicated. I'm just going to use the Google tag that they give me for this example here. Google Tag Manager is basically a place where you have all your, like the same code in every page, and then you have a separate website where you can configure like which tags or like which pages fire which conversion events. I'm not going to get into that. I want to just keep it simple. So I'm going to paste that code right into my header here. And for most platforms, that's all you have to do. You just have to apply. You have to hit save. Kartra has this weird little thing where if you look at the code here, there's a script. So that's saying that's the beginning of a line of code. And then there's this end script. This like /script means it's the end of the line of code. Well, what Kartra does is it already gives you the open script and the end script. So you have to, and it's gonna error out on you if you just enter it like this. So what I do is I grab this little end script thing, paste it at the top, and then I grab this is an open script here. Oops. This thing with no, come on. The thing with no slash is an open script. So I'm just going to copy that, paste it under here, and get rid of that. So what it's saying is there's an open script and then a closed script. So this is basically just a script that does nothing. Then there's the Google tag script, and then there's this open script, and then the closed script that Kartra adds automatically. I'd hit apply. I'd go to actions, publish live, and then that's what I would do. And that's all I need to do to embed that tracking code. So I'm going to leave without saving just because I don't want to mess up my existing settings. But that's what you do. And then you go to, and you do that for every page, right? So that was my opt-in page. So I would go to like, this is my opt-in confirm page. I would paste exactly the same code in exactly the same place, do everything the same. And then this one, and then I would go to the page that people go to after they book a call, right? And then I paste it in again there, exactly the same way. And then the one where the sales page and the page after they purchase, I do that on all of those pages individually. So that's kind of part one here. This is the overall tag that goes everywhere. So, and I can test installation if I want to make sure that that's working properly. So I'm going to go ahead and hit continue. And what do I want to measure? So this is kind of the category of what I want to measure. So let me see all my categories. So I'm going to say like a submit lead form. So that's all they're doing here is they're opting in. I don't know if they're qualified. They're not converted yet. It's just submitted a lead form. So I'm going to click on that. Which category you click doesn't really matter a whole lot. And then I'm going to, is it set up? If I set this up, does it do the same thing I just did? No, I'm going to go to create a manual event. Okay, I'm going to enter a name for my conversions. I'm going to say this test opt-in. So I always like to make a descriptive name. So like, what is your funnel? And even if you only have one funnel, don't assume it's going to be that way forever. If you're like me, you've been doing this for years, you have like a zillion funnels, and the better the naming that you do, the more you remember. So put your name and then hit use event and then kind of continue. And here's where I set up the tag. So it says set up with the Google tag. I've got the Google tag set up. We already did that, right? That's part one where we were pasting that same code into a bunch of different pages. And then measure individual conversions with event snippet. So I got to click on see event snippet. I will copy this. And then this I want to put, oh, and I put this on page load, by the way. Don't put it on click, put it on page load. So when the person goes to this page that this is installed on, then it's going to fire this tag, right? It's going to fire this conversion. It's going to show that there was an opt-in. And so what I would do is I'm going to go back to my page editor over here, and I'm going to go to, instead of the opt-in page, I'm going to do the page after the opt-in page. So the thank you page, the confirmation page, I'm going to go over here. Give it a minute to load. I promise it's not this slow normally. It's only when I'm screen sharing. And then I will go into settings and tracking code. And in the head, I want to go, I don't want to replace this. I want this to stay here, but I want to add this code to the bottom. So I will go down to, click down a little bit and paste it right here. And then again, the same thing with those silly script tags. There's already an open script there. So I'm going to, or a closed script there. So I'm going to open script, and otherwise there's a double close script like I explained, and apply actions, publish live, and that will save my changes. And I will go ahead and return to dashboard. And so that's it. Then we just hit finish. And now that tag is ready to go, and you'll see it under the submit lead form. It's in here somewhere. Test opt-in. See, it's in here. And then you want to do the same thing for all of your events, right? So I want to do the same thing for my purchase event. So if I want to do that, I'm going to go ahead and create a new conversion action. And then I'm going to go through the same process. I'm not going to make you sit through this again. But I'm going to go, and this one I'm going to put purchase instead of lead, right? Because this is a purchase. Or if it was book a lead form, I would, or apply book a call, I would choose a different category. And then save and continue. And oh no, I got to set up this, create manual event, and I'm going to give it a name. So this is like test purchase, right? And then I will now save and continue. And set up with a Google tag, grab the event snippet. And so this is my purchase tag. So I want to grab this. I'm going to copy this, and now I'm going to put it in the page that is the purchase confirmation. So after somebody makes the purchase and they see a page that says, thank you for your purchase, I'm going to put it in that page, again, in the header tag, but after the main the overall tag. And again, on page load. And that's really it. I'm going to hit finish, even though I didn't do that yet. The last bit of this is just to set up your goals. So I'm going to, and if I was doing this for real, I would add probably a booked call event in there too. But for the sake of time, we'll just do the 2 events. And then I'm going to hit add a custom goal. And then I'm going to group them together. So I'm just going to call it test goal set. And I'll search for test. And so I click on test opt-in and test purchase. So what this is going to do is now I can use this custom goal set as my optimization, as what I am targeting when I go to create a new YouTube ad or a new demand gen ad. So when it asks like, what goal set do you want to optimize for, it will default to like purchases or conversions or purchases or phone call leads, something like that. Instead, I'm going to get rid of that and I'm going to put my custom goals. So it knows that I care about the lead, I care about the phone call booking, and I care about the purchase. I'm grouping them all together to let it know that I care about all 3 of those things. So that's it. And by the way, if you would like me to help you through every step of the way to creating YouTube ads that bring you leads and clients on autopilot every single day without you having to do anything, once you actually get the ad up and running, then I can absolutely help you with that. I will put a link in the description to get my free YouTube ads guide, which will show you exactly my process for doing YouTube ads. And if you get that guide, it will also give you the opportunity to apply to book a call with me, and we can talk about how I can help you specifically for your business using YouTube ads. So if you're interested in that, click below, and I hope this was helpful.